Scientists just built a computer that runs on human brain cells, and you can buy one for $35,000. This isn't some distant future technology or science fiction concept. The CL1 from Australian startup Cortical Labs is shipping this June, and it's already changing how we think about computing. While everyone's been obsessing over ChatGPT and the AI revolution, we've been ignoring a massive problem. Training GPT-4 used 50 times more electricity than GPT-3. Data centers are consuming more power than entire countries. The International Energy Agency says data centers will double their electricity consumption by 2030, surpassing all of Japan's current usage. But what if I told you there's a computer that learns faster than any AI while using the same power as a light bulb? Here's what's happening. Inside a metal box about the size of a shoebox, 800,000 living human neurons are growing on a silicon chip. These aren't just any cells. They're lab-grown brain cells that form actual neural networks, creating connections and pathways just like they would in your head. The neurons sit on a grid of 59 electrodes that can both send signals to the cells and read their responses. It's a true fusion of biology and technology. The whole system is kept alive by what the team calls a body in a box. Think of it as life support for neurons. There are pumps that work like a heart, filtration systems that act like kidneys, and a gas mixer that maintains the perfect blend of oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen. The temperature stays precisely controlled, and nutrients flow continuously through the system. These neurons can live and compute for up to 6 months. Dr. Han Weng Chung founded Cortical Labs back in 2019 with a vision that sounded impossible. Create intelligence using actual brain cells instead of simulating them. The breakthrough came in 2022 when they taught neurons to play Pong, not a simulation of neurons. Real, living brain cells learn to play a video game by forming new connections based on electrical feedback. Now here's where it gets wild. A rack of these biological computers uses between 850 and 1,000 watts of power. Compare that to the tens of thousands of watts required by traditional AI systems doing similar work. The human brain uses about 12 watts, less than your desk lamp. Simulating that same brain digitally would need around 2.7 billion watts, according to the Blue Brain Project. We're talking about millions of times more energy. The secret is that biological neurons don't work like silicon chips. Digital computers need precise voltages and perfect reliability, which burns energy. Brain cells are messy and imprecise, but they're just reliable enough to get the job done with minimal power. They can also adjust their energy use based on what they're doing, something digital systems are only beginning to copy. This technology, called synthetic biological intelligence, or SBI, learns differently too. Traditional AI needs massive data sets and weeks of training. The CL1 adapts in real time, forming new neural pathways as it encounters information. It's not programmed, it grows its own solutions. What do you think this means for the future of computing? The applications are already emerging. Drug companies can test how medicines affect actual human neurons without animal testing. Researchers studying Alzheimer's or epilepsy can watch diseases develop in actual brain tissue and test treatments directly. The military is interested in adaptive robotics that can learn from their environment. Tech companies see potential for AI that consumes a fraction of current power requirements. Cortical Labs offers something called Wetware as a Service, where researchers can run experiments on biological neural networks through the cloud. Imagine logging into a server farm where the processors are living brain tissue. They're building entire server racks of these biological computers that can network together for larger experiments. But let's address the elephant in the room. These are human brain cells we're talking about. The company is clear that the CL1 isn't conscious or self-aware. It's about as complex as a cockroach or honeybee in terms of neuron count. Still, the technology raises questions. Researchers like Sylvia Velasco from the Murdoch Children's Research Institute say we need to evaluate potential concerns while not missing opportunities to cure brain diseases. The timing couldn't be better. As one researcher told Scientific American, if Google converted its entire search engine to something like ChatGPT, it would need as much power as Ireland. The computational demands of AI are doubling every 100 days. Meanwhile, NVIDIA claims their latest chips are 30 times faster while using 25 times less energy. But that's still not enough to offset the explosive growth in AI usage. What Cortical Labs has created is fundamentally different. Instead of making silicon more efficient, they're using the most efficient computer nature ever designed. 4 billion years of evolution produce neurons that process information using minimal energy. Now we're putting that to work. The CL1 runs on custom software called the Biological Intelligence Operating System, or BIOS. It creates a simulated world that the neurons inhabit, sending information about their environment and responding to their reactions. Developers can deploy code directly to the neural network using a Python API. Its biology meets programming in the most literal sense. Chinese researchers are working on similar technology with their MetaBOC system. The race is on to commercialize biological computing. But Cortical Labs has the lead with the first commercially available product. At $35,000, it's not cheap, but compare that to the millions needed for traditional supercomputing infrastructure. This could be the beginning of a new computing era, one where intelligence isn't simulated but grown, where computers adapt rather than execute, where the energy crisis of AI gets solved by the same organ that's been solving problems efficiently for millions of years. The neurons in the CL1 aren't trying to become human. They're just cells doing what cells do, processing information, forming connections, adapting to stimuli. But in doing so, they might just save us from an AI energy crisis while opening doors we haven't even imagined yet.